Ben, Sean, how excited are we about the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl?
Pretty awesome.
I was sweating.
I know.
You know what? It wouldn't be a Seattle sports team if they didn't make me just anxious and nervous, and I have a stomach cramp for the entire 3.5 hours.
Seriously, so stressful. I was just pacing back and forth by the end of the game. So Sean, you work in like sports, like you cover sports for a living, right?
Yeah, I'm the managing editor for Awful Announcing, so we cover all things sports media.
So I would love to get like your take on that game. Like going in, did you think the Seahawks were going to do it? And like watching that, I just want to get like your reaction to it.
Yeah, coming off last week where they completely trounced the 49ers, I fully expected they had the ability to win this game, and then they came out guns blazing in this game. And it was like, okay, great, it's going to be more of the same. And then it kind of turned into more of a slugfest and kind of went back and forth. And then it looked like the Rams had all the momentum. So it ended up being a pretty stressful game, especially if you're rooting for Seattle. But no, I always thought they had the chance. And so it's pretty exciting to see them pull through and get back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, after 11 years and going to be playing the Patriots again, which is who they played the last time they were in the Super Bowl. And like that could not have ended worse. So I'm calling this the Revenge Bowl, and I'm hoping that the Seahawks can actually beat the Patriots this time.
So here's the bad news is you're about to watch the clip of the end of that game about 100 times over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not and if you avoid all online media.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I will be living in my little joy bubble, the little happiness that we have of the Seahawks winning. We had a beautiful day. All the weather was perfect. Yeah. Everybody is such like, we're in a good mood. We're in a good space. And I will be writing this all the way to the Super Bowl. I don't need to hear a single opinion outside of that.
That's a good way to go about it, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, just bury my head in the sand a little bit. We live so far away from wherever the Patriots fans live, you know, in the deep pits of hell that I just don't even consider us even in the same world. I'd be like, oh, we're playing a game against someone, I suppose.
I've already seen so many people say that the Seahawks need to bring Marshawn Lynch out of retirement for like one more game just so we can get some redemption. Yeah.
Well, he better be on the sidelines at least.
He has to be. I saw that he like was riding a Lime bike through Pioneer Square, probably on his way to the game.
Absolutely on his way to the game.
So Marshawn Lynch. It's ridiculous. Did you guys watch the game before ours, the Broncos and Patriots game?
Yes. Yeah.
And after watching that, I feel like I'm not worried.
Well, I mean, that was a weird game because all that snow and the cold really kind of derailed the offense. So both teams looked like they were kind of just flailing and trying to survive at the end there. But, you know, I mean, the Patriots also had a good season. Mm-hmm. They had a pretty easy schedule, all things considered. And so if you want to go in feeling like the Seahawks have an advantage, I think you could make the argument the Seahawks are a little bit more battle tested. Mm-hmm. Denver didn't have their best quarterback. He was out injured. So I would say on paper, in theory, the Seahawks, I think, will be favored.
Hell yeah.
I mean, and I'm watching this today, and I just don't even think that this is one of the better games that we've played, right? Like, I know out of, like, even just compared to last week, right? We were dropping balls left, right, and center today, and I think that so much of what I saw and I was disappointed in has been corrected in other games that I am not worried if we play up to the level we should be playing at anyway, that this actually will be a really interesting game for the Seahawks fans. Like you said, Sean, like the Patriots, you know, I'm not necessarily worried personally. Knock on wood.
Like Drake May is fantastic and they have had a good season, but yeah, like easy schedule and watching them struggle against the Broncos today, I was like, I don't know, maybe Seahawks are good. Also, can we please finally give Sam Darnold his flowers? Like, he deserves some respect at this point. I feel like people have talked down about him all season long. It's been infuriating.
Yeah, credit where credit's due, because not just this season, but he came to the Seahawks with this reputation as a guy who could put up great numbers in the regular season, but will fall apart in the playoffs and can't win the big game. And it's hard to argue with what he did today. and in the playoffs in general. I mean, he's done everything that you would ask of a top tier quarterback. So I'm excited for him, and I'm excited that I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old injury promo meme of Sam Darnold.
Oh, no. Yeah, the green one? From
yeah,
the
green one.
Yeah.
So that I forget what the initial injury was, but there was someone started memeing this old promo that was like Sam Darnold out with an injury, and it's turned into a whole thing where he's like out with tuberculosis or out with dysentery, and so people are sharing those to say like, look at what Sam Darnold has overcome. So yeah, it's going to be pretty fun with a lot of that going around.
Have you seen one of those that says like haunted? Mentions like the ghosts.
Haunted, yeah, haunted ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's done so well. I mean, I was even one of those people who wasn't so sure. There were a couple games earlier on in the season where I was like, wow, the Seahawks won despite Darnold, just from throwing so many interceptions in certain games. But like, he has absolutely turned that around, like incredible.
I mean, and JSN has really been kind of the highlight for me. I describe him as like, I have as much fun watching him as I did watching Lockett when Lockett was with us. And I think that was my bright spot when, like you said, despite Darnold on a lot of this, I was like, I can always rely on JSN. This is always going to be fine. And I think, especially like the past couple of games, I'm like, I'm watching really fun people and I'm not watching one really fun person, right? Like getting to watch like Cooper Kupp play. So fun. Bobo, so fun. Like, I think we have a really exciting team, and I think everybody is, like, on board with the squad and not, like, we're rooting for, like, two people.
Yeah, like, the team is stacked pretty much everywhere, which must be, the winning formula, I would assume, to get to this place, because the last time it was like that was, the Russell Wilson Legion of Boom days. And yeah, JSN, he's like Spider-Man out there. The way that he can grab a ball with one hand, it is so impressive. I don't know how he does it.
I was listening. I mean, granted, most of the time when I'm watching the game, I watch it in a bar, so I'm not really hearing much of what is being discussed outside of the cheering of the fans. I was actually listening to the game today, and the one of the announcers was talking about how he keeps his shoulders on a level plane the entire time, where a lot of people will actually lower when they're running, and like when they're slowing down, they'll like raise their shoulder, and he keeps it level the whole time. And like, we don't see that from anybody else. And I wonder if that's part of the big reason that he's so successful. Yeah. Just like this weird quirk.
I heard that too. I think that might have even been Tom Brady. It was interesting to hear all the commentary from like the sideline reporters from KB and TB. And I feel like they kind of don't give Seahawks credit very often, or like, I feel like this happens with Seattle teams a lot. Like we're always kind of the underdogs, and maybe it's because we're the fans and so it feels that way, but I swear it happens more than once. They were gassing up the Rams the whole game.
I have a theory. It's because we're in the Pacific Northwest. Oregon doesn't really have any teams. Idaho doesn't have any teams. Like, anybody who surrounds us immediately isn't really like, we don't have competition out here. And I think that this is a big reason that like we're seen as underdogs, is like we don't have the regional authority that a lot of these other teams might have, just based on where they're populated.
Yeah.
I think it probably, this season in particular, I would say that the Seahawks were kind of undercovered considering how well they did. And I do think a lot of that, I agree with Ben. I think there is something about being out here on our own that lends itself to that. But I also think the Seahawks have amazing players, but there isn't like a super duper star that you can kind of hang your hat on, like you can for like Matthew Stafford, who's, won a Super Bowl. He's been around forever, and players like that. And so I think there's been a little bit of an undercoverage issue that it'll be great now that the spotlight is on the Seahawks now. So I think we're going to see that change. And then if they go and they win, and, Sam Darnold wins and has a great game, he could move up to that level moving forward.
Yeah. It was nice to see him go toe to toe with Stafford. Like they seemed like equals, where I feel like a lot of people maybe going into that game would have expected Stafford to way outperform Darnold. Any other takeaways from this game? Anything we haven't mentioned?
I think the 12s is just like a really underreported, especially like nowadays, a really underreported group of people that really help impact the quality of the wins when the Seahawks are playing at home, especially. Like early on when we got Lumen Field back, when it was the clink and all of that, people were talking about how it's specially designed to be like extra loud and the reverbs and whatever. Like I went and saw Beyonce at Lumen Field, and even she was like, oh my God, this is like the echo in here is insane. Like I can hear all of you crystal clear, and I can't even hear myself. Side note. But I think it's like really saying something that like we are continuing to bring that momentum and bring that noise and bring that level of energy week after week after week after week, even though the media has stopped talking about it altogether, though it is arguably the toughest stadium to play at, especially if you're an away team.
Yeah. I think Tom Brady mentioned that. I think even Gronk mentioned that. That they remember playing in that stadium and just how loud it is. You can't even hear yourself think, let alone communicate with the other players. And that makes me feel really proud because the Seahawks actually had to send out an email begging their season ticket holders not to sell their tickets to like other teams, like actually go to the game, because there was a time when, I don't know if it wasn't last year, maybe the year before, there was a Packers game where there were more Green Bay Packers fans in Lumen Field than Seahawks fans, and they had a "Go Pack, Go" chant going. It was embarrassing.
That is unacceptable.
So it's so nice to like get the 12s to make a comeback and just be this like loud, crazy home field advantage. I don't know. It's nice.
I think it's also exciting that you see a lot of the younger generations, kind of like, younger millennials, older Gen Z, finally starting to age into the demographic where you can afford to go to the games. And they're bringing a lot of energy. I have a lot of friends who go week after week after week, and they are some of the loudest, rowdiest fans I've seen rowdy in a good way, fans I've seen at the games. Whereas, like, you see some season ticket holders that buy it as an investment. And I fear that that is a trend that really started a few years ago when it got really, really expensive to go to the games. And I'm hoping that changes. I hope that, the management looks at it and go, hey, if you're not going to come because you sold 75% of your tickets, we might just offer this to the next person in line. Because I think there's Ashley, you said before, like 50,000 people in line for season tickets.
At least. I've been on the list for years, and I think I'm maybe 50,000 something. So please feel free.
Manifesting before next season for you.
Thank you. What are we looking forward to in the Super Bowl? Is there anything we'll be watching for? Do you want to do predictions on like the score? I don't know.
Well, I'll throw a prediction out, although it's a little bit of a different one.
Okay.
And I'm not really going out on a limb here, but there's a pretty solid bet that this will be the most watched Super Bowl in history.
Wow.
Some of that, there's a bit of an inside baseball reason for that. Nielsen, who records the metrics and kind of tracks this stuff, they've updated their system and the way that they're tracking a lot of this data. So we've just been seeing a lot of higher ratings all year long, just across the board. So by all accounts, the Super Bowl is on NBC and Peacock, and they're going to be doing a bunch of other alt streams and things like that. And so I think it was 127 million last year.
Wow.
So it should be higher than that this year.
I mean,
That's
and
wild.
you got Bad Bunny performing, and he is the biggest recording artist in Latin America. Do you know the entire, the all of his fan base are going to tune in for at least part of it, really build it up, get excited for the commercials like people do every year. And then Bad Bunny's going to perform. And the prediction that I have is there's going to be an immense amount of pushback online about the fact that he's performing. I'm sure he's going to say something politically adjacent, I would say. I don't think he'll be as brazen as he has been online, but I think it could be very Kendrick Lamar coded, where Kendrick, made some statements subtly during his performance, and he got a lot of pushback from the administration and people who are, upset at anybody voicing their opinions against the regime, as it will.
I did see that Trump said he's not going to go to the Super Bowl because it's just
very
too
smart.
far.
Yeah,
it's just too far.
It's just too far to go to San Francisco, California. I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the location.
Yeah. The Super Bowl is woke again.
Yeah.
We've got Seattle and Boston
Make
playing in San
woke
Francisco.
again.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for talking Seahawks with me. I guess we'll hand it back over to Jane.
Of course, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.